Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Hey, first and foremost, I would like to start off by giving all praise, infinite honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Yukakadash. Double honors to the apostle, and that was a great millstone who grew well. Peace and blessing to the house of David. Hey, real quick, it's the spirit, it's 1:44 a.m. Hey, call halal, Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing. All right, I want to get into this lesson. There's a time and place for everything, man, because you got a lot of these different Hebrew Israelite groups that are in a wrong spirit. They're in the house of mirth, partying on the Passover, doing fashion shows, and just all types of things that goes against the doctrine of what Yahweh Shai has set out for us to do in these last days, man. All right, because the only thing we're supposed to be doing is preaching. All right, and a part of that coming into this truth, according to Sirach, the second chapter, prepare thyself for temptation. All right, you're going to be catching a little bit of hell here and there. All right, you're going to be going through a few things to keep your spirit balanced, to basically hastening to get out of this captivity that we're currently in. So real quick, don't want to make this no long lesson. Got a couple of scriptures, Lord willing, is edifying to the point. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. Said it is better to go in the house of mourning than to go in the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men. For that is the end of all men, and living will lay it to heart. It says sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. Right. So it's better to go in the house of mourning because we know times to come. We know that the scriptures speak about in Daniel chapter 12, the first verse, a time like never before that we about to enter into. We know that in Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, you could start at the 6th verse, that it's going to be a time of Jacob trouble. So, should you be in a mirthfully spirit or in a mourning spirit, to where you would be hoped to be delivered in these perilous times to come? All right. It says, sorrow is better than laughter, right? Because we're in a time of sorrow right now because we don't know whether we're going to be delivered or not. And we are hope that we're going to be delivered. That's why we're doing the works of the Lord and try to keep the laws and statutes, commandments to the best of our ability so we can have or be in good grace with Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai can justify us through his Father Yahweh and say, these particular men, women, and children are okay. And we have that mark of exemption mentioned in Ezekiel 9:4, that the why, all right? It says, for sadness of a countenance, the heart is made better. All right. This one I want to get real quick. That I didn't have written down. All right. Yeah. All right. This is this is Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 21, verse 20. It says, a fool lifteth up his voice with laughter, but a wise man doeth scarcely smile. All right. Because a fool lifteth his voice with laughter, like everything is a joke. Knowing that what Esau Edom is, planning to do, or he's in the works of doing, far as establishing his NWO that we're gonna continue speaking about because it is important. It's prophecy, and that's the whole spirit that we come in. We come in the spirit of prophecy to warn our people or the elect to know, well, truly our whole nation to know what's about to happen, rather they take heed or not. All right. It says, learning is unto a wise man as an ornament of gold, and like a bracelet upon his right arm. A foolish man foot is soon his soon in his neighbor's house, but a man of experience is ashamed of him. But yeah, verse 20, that was the point I wanted to get. Again, a fool lifted up his voice with laughter, man. We're in a time of joy, man. We're in a time of mourning, man, because we know what's about to happen, man. We know that all hell is about to break loose soon in the upcoming months, uh, upcoming weeks, maybe months, or maybe years to come. We don't know. Only the Lord Yahweh knows that. All right. So we're in a time of mourning because we want, like I said again, we want to be the part of those men, women, and children that be, delivered from the things that are about to go down. Because we're gonna need divine intervention. Because the scriptures say, "A Jacob is like a worm." We really have no defense, far as carnally. Our defense comes from the spirit. All right. So I want to get that. This is let me go back to the blue letter just in case. Ecclesiastes 3:1. It says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens." Right? Because everything there is a season, and it's a time for every purpose under the sun. Every situation or every phase of a time period. It's a time for everything, and it goes down to which I'm gonna read. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just read it. Verse 2. It says, "It's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to be healed, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh." Right? And that's the main point. We're in a time of weeping, all right? Because like I said, we want to be a party hopeful elect. It's not sure and guaranteed that we are, but as long as we're enduring to the end, it's a highly possibility that we may be a part of that number that we hope and pray for. All right. It says in the time to laugh, we'll have all our laughing and fun moments in the kingdom once we get the kingdom, once we establish the kingdom, once we come down off them chariots, and when New Jerusalem come off that chariots and conquer the world in righteousness, and establish and put everything back in order, then we'll have our time to laugh and rejoice. But now it's not the time. It says a time to mourn and a time to dance. All right, and we're in a time of mourning. Not saying you can't dance and have a little good time on your free time, but a lot of these camps, they advertise it to gather members unto their congregation, not knowing what they're involved in the apostles, starting with the apostles and elders and the men on down. They always you know what's the word, they always uh, uh, uh basically they always make the point of knowing what you're involved in. All right, because this thing ain't coming in to just have a lot of fun and dance and a bunch of mirth. No, we're in the time of mourning. That's about when we participate in the Passover. It's a solemn assembly. You know, when you eat that bitter herb that a that I don't even participate in, and it's a remembrance of the captivity and all the things that we have been going through. And you eat that lamb, which that lamb represents Yahweh Shai, and you drink that wine, man. All right, it's a solemn assembly, man. All right, it's no time. The Passover is nothing to be throwing no party over and having fashion shows and all that. And I'm just saying this stuff through the spirit. You know, it says A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose. And we're in the time, hey, we're going to lose a lot of things for the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. All right, because they're going to try to force us to conform to the system that they're trying to set up. But the scriptures speak about there shall be 7,000 men that shall not bow the knee to the image of Baal. So we're going to lose everything. And these are times that we're in. So that's the main thing. Prepare to lose a lot. Because you're going to lose a lot. You're going to lose family members. You're going to lose possessions. To where you will have to have 100% faith in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Alright? It says a time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rent and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. And a time of war and a time of peace. And we're in a time of war. Esau right now is making war behind the scenes against the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. And our time of peace will come when we are in the kingdom of heaven. All right. So that's the point I want to get on that. All right. So my next scripture is James, James chapter 4, verse 9. It says, "Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and he shall lift thee up." All right. So, hey, we're being afflicted. All right. We're going through our hell. All right. And we're mourning and we're weeping because we want to get out of here. You know, the scriptures say that we say second Timothy 15 chapter we crying about the abominations that are done in the midst thereof. All right. Set your laughter be turned into mourning, right? We ain't in the time of laughter, man. We in the time of mourning, man. All right. And your joy into heaviness, because we come into heavy times, to a time that we never even seen. This place speak about that virgin daughter of Babylon, which is America. This place has never seen heavy war, you know, like these other third world countries, you know. This is a first world country, man, where everything is convenient to you. All right. So when these things are taken away, it's gonna be a lot of heaviness, man. All right. And I'm gonna end it off with Matthew, the 24th chapter. Uh, I don't want to read the whole thing, but I'm gonna have to jump down a few. It says, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the building of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And you see that now, all right? A lot of people saying, are proclaiming themselves to be Christ or King David, all right? These are signs of the times that's spoken in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, all right? It says, And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And we're in those times now, with the whole Ukraine and Russia and all this geo, uh, uh, how you say it, political stuff going on. All right. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of the sorrows. So knowing these things are about to take place, should you be in a time of mirth or in a time of mourning? All right, think about that. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All right, that doesn't sound like anything to be in the spirit of mirth to me. Right? Ask yourself that. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And we seeing that happen right now, especially amongst these different Israelite groups that are teaching false doctrine. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, which iniquity is abounding, because iniquity is getting worse and worse as the years go by. It says, the love of many shall wax cold. You experience that now. People have no type of compassion towards each other anymore. It says, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then the end shall come. All right. I'm gonna jump down to verse, because that's speaking about 70 AD. I'm gonna jump down to verse 20. It says, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be a great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. All right. Again, Daniel 12 and 1. And except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And that's why we witnessing these days flying by faster and faster. Like the beginning of the year just started a few months ago. Now we halfway through, because the Lord is on his way to deliver his elect and destroy this current wicked kingdom. All right. So let me see. All right. I'm gonna jump to 29. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall the sun, then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. All right, mourn, not mirth, mourn, because the Lord said he not to come send peace on earth, but he comes to bring a sword. It says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in clouds, with those clouds of chariots, okay? Clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the earth to another. All right. And that elect is the ones that's in the right spirit, the ones that's in the house of mourning, the ones that's hastening the day of the Lord, and not trying to establish something in a fallen kingdom, a fallen system, a system that's going down the drain, quit fast and in a hurry. All right. So that was it. Uh, that's the point I wanted to make. That's all I had. So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, straight to the point, to the hopeful elect. With that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Again, double honors to the apostle. That was a great millstone who well. Peace and blessings to the house of David D. Let. With that, Shalom.